Well, she got everything back in order.
Yep, everything that wasn't broken anyway. You said you wanted to talk about that studio business.
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't know what else I can do out there. I'd like to help your friends out.
They used to be your friends too, Steve.
Yeah, well, whatever. I still would like to help them out, but I don't know what I can do. Calvin and I were talking. We decided that maybe I shouldn't get involved in police matters outside my jurisdiction. And I'm not sure that this is a police matter anymore.
Well, I'd sure like to take a look around there.
That's right. You've never seen the set, have you?
Oh, of course not. It's closed to the public.
You're not the public. I thought you had a personal in with the producer.
I'd just like to know what's going on around that place. In fact, I'd like to know what's going on around right here.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything now that you've got a police lock on your door.
What about anonymous phone calls, Steve? Police lock isn't going to stop those.
You think that might be him?
Hello? Hello?
Well, my friend, you've really got the wrong number this time. This happens to be the police department, and we're tracing your call. So take a deep breath. Just a few minutes, a little man is going to be outside your door in a blue uniform. See you in court, friend. There. That should take care of that.
Steve, I've told him the same thing myself. It just doesn't help.
Oh. Well, does he call often?
I don't know. I'm only home a couple of hours out of the day. Frequency's increasing. Of course, the worst ones come late at night.
Why don't you, leave the phone off the hook?
Oh, I can't do that, Steve. We're supposed to be within reach of headquarters 24 hours a day.
Look, Deborah. Hey, just change your phone number, huh?
I've thought about that, too, but damn it, I don't want to change anything in my life just for some miserable little punk.
Still think Benny Hayes has something to do with this?
I don't know. Possibly. I know the kid hates the ground I walk on. He's not the only one.
Look, why don't I call a telephone company, have them bring in one of those new installations? We'll put a trace on this guy, have him in no time.
You don't have to do that, Steve. You don't have to go to all that trouble for me.
Hey, I'd like to go to all that trouble for you. Was the time I'd do anything for you. It still is.
Steve. I wish I could talk to you about how I feel about my life right now. I suppose you think I've changed a great deal.
Well, maybe if I hadn't asked you to marry me, we'd still have the same relationship.
Don't blame yourself. Hell, blame me if you want to. I'm still as mixed up as I ever was. More so right now, I guess.
You know, you've got one thing in your life that's straight. That's your career.
Yeah. At least I've found that. I love the work I do. Never seem to want to do anything else.
The only thing that seems to be messed up is maybe your personal life.
Yeah, the only thing.
Yeah, well, maybe it'd be different if Owen Madison wasn't married. Excuse me, never mind that question. Better get back down to headquarters. Got a lot of work to do. Several lineups I got to look at. A lot of paperwork. Calvin probably needs some help. You know, his leg's still not all 100%. Listen now, you got plans this evening?
No, I think I'll just hang around out here. Maybe make a pumpkin pie.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. If that creep calls back, give him my love. Yeah. One other thing. Here.
What?
Give these back to Owen Madison.
What are they?
They're keys to the studio. I don't think I'll need them anymore. Well, goodbye.
Yes, Max. Look, I know it's only a couple of weeks away, but Max, I got an office to run, right? Right? If I'm out making speeches all the time, who's going to put the bad guys in jail? Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll be there. But I tell you, this is the last appearance. If the voters don't know what I'm all about by now, they're never going to know. All right. Fine. I said I'll be there. Bye-bye.
Logan, you sound like you're headed for the hustings again.
Yeah, there's a political rally this weekend at Monticello Gardens. I don't seem to be able to avoid it.
Well, of course not. I see no reason why I should.
Well, I just don't like the thought of you being stuck here again, that's all. Besides, if anybody should be at that rally on the speaker's platform, it's you. You helped build the party in this town.
No. I'd much rather have my own rally right here with this little politician.
Yeah, he is sort of a politician, isn't he, huh? Yeah. There you go. You ingratiate yourself with everybody. You don't make any controversial remarks. Only difference between him and me is he wets himself in public. That'll be Draper. Coming, sir. Coming. And come in. Nice of you to drop by.
Hey, Swifty, I just wanted to see how the other half lived.
Oh.
Geraldine,
Draper.
how are you?
I'm just fine. And how's that lovely wife of yours?
She is wonderful. Never been happier.
She must be feeling wonderful these days. Looking forward to having one of these tiny little creatures all of her own.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, this tiny little creature is off to Betty Bye.
You're looking very well yourself today.
There you go.
Oh, well, it's the effects of late motherhood, I have no doubt.
Well, we'll see you in a minute. Sit down, Draper, sit down.
Well, old buddy,
Yeah?
how's the election coming? The poll has it you way out in front.
Well, you know how voters are. They can be fickle. That's what makes politics so entertaining, you know? Besides, you've seen those not-so-veiled references to Raven in the Monticello Star, I'm sure.
Well, try not to let those bother you.
They don't bother me. But some of the voters might think that a district attorney who can't even lay down the law to his wife is, well... Look, enough of that. Speaking of looking good, you look pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed yourself when you walk through that door.
It's because I have some terrific news, Logan. Remember that lawyer, Henson from New York?
Seward Paxson Whiteside?
Right, the one that turned me down for that job as head of their criminal law department.
Yeah. The job filled?
No, the job is not filled. It's Swifty. He wants to see me now.
Terrific. I always thought it was a dirty trick. They decided you couldn't handle it without even giving you the courtesy of an interview, so...
Well, I imagine they have seen the error of their ways.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to get the job or that he will even like me or think that I'm right for it. But at least I'm going to get an honest shot at it.
All the other partners like you. You're a shoo-in, right? You know, come to think of it, I'm not sure this is entirely good news. You get that job, you and April, you'll move away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've just lost my wife. Now I gotta lose my best friends.
And there we are. He's sleeping like a baby.
What else?
Draper's left?
Yeah, he said to say goodbye to you.
Well, that was a rather short visit.
Oh, he just came by to tell me some news.
That's very good news, judging by your expression.
Well, good news for him. That job he was so excited about a little while ago has opened up again. He's got another shot at it. I should have reacted a little less selfishly than I did. I couldn't help it, though. I hate to lose him. Don't have that many friends in Monticello. Draper, April, and you. That's it.
Thank you for that. But are you sure there isn't something else responsible for that rather sad look in your eye?
Well, it's nothing serious. Nothing unexpected, anyway. Got this little darling in the morning mail. They forwarded it from the old apartment.
What is it?
Legal document. Separation agreement. All I have to do is sign on the dotted line there, and this marriage is handed.
I see.
Not a divorce. Nope, not a divorce. Next best thing, though. All Raven and I have to do is stay away from each other for a year, and it becomes a divorce, automatically.
Well, you don't know. You might want that divorce sooner than you think. Well, after all, Logan, you might meet someone else, for instance.
Sort of hard to imagine myself with someone else right now.
Oh, well, there will be, I can assure you of that. Besides, you'll be the most eligible young man about town. Attractive, accomplished, and very, very nice.
Well, I'm certainly in no hurry. Right now, all I need is Jamie and you, sweetheart.
kitchen.
Okay. What did you do? You buy out the entire store?
Well, I'm afraid I did get carried away, but look at this. I mean, do you think the baby can resist him?
I think that she will love him.
Okay, speaking he, she, I think it's about time that we start picking out names.
April, you're only 3 months pregnant. I think it's a bit premature to pick out names or even buy this nursery stuff.
Well, I couldn't wait. Besides, this was bought with part of the money that Eddie Vaughn sent over, and I just wanted to spend a little of it before it disappears like money usually disappears.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't mind having some of that money spent on this month's fuel bill. Did you see it already? It's
Yes.
enormous. It's not even winter yet.
Yes.
It's cheaper to burn the money.
Draper, I did see it, but we decided beforehand that this money was going to be spent for the nursery. Besides, remember, I did earn it myself.
Yeah, I know you earned it. And you thought it was going to be an easy buck. But after what happened, we can see now that it wasn't.
Draper, I have forgotten all about that.
Oh, good. I just want you to keep on forgetting about it. Don't think you had a vision because you didn't.
Okay. Everyone seems to think that, including Margot.
Speaking about Margot, when are we having dinner with her?
We didn't pick a day.
Why not? I thought we said it was definite.
No, it wasn't definite. We work, she works.
Hey,
I don't think
take
she
it
can
easy,
make...
Take it easy. Hey, look, honey, I really don't care to have dinner with her. I mean, it was her suggestion. What's the matter? I mean, you don't look very enthusiastic about it. Why?
Because I have tonight's dinner to think about. That's all. I'll get it. Hello. Oh, yeah, he is. Just a second, please.
What is it?
It's, Mr. Henson from New York.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Henson.
Well, so am I, Mr. Scott. I'm not too fond of hospitals, but it seems the last visit I made quite a hit with the doctors and nurses, and so they're requesting a repeat performance.
Well, how long do you think you'll be in there?
Oh, that's a little hard to say. I was there almost 3 weeks. The last time, with any luck at all, maybe they can get around to these tests a little sooner.
Well, I certainly hope so, for your sake.
You know, I'm really sorry this had to happen just when we were about to get together, and I regret that we weren't able to meet that other time.
But you still came up with a negative vote.
Well, I realize, of course, that that was a mistake, not to have met you in person. And believe me, I intend to correct that mistake. I owe it to the firm. However, it looks as if we'll have to delay the meeting for a little while anyway.
I understand.
It shouldn't be more than a few weeks, maybe a month at the outset, but then you'll have first priority, right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate your calling and telling me this. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
What happened? He didn't cancel the interview, did he?
No. He postponed it. He's going into the hospital again.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I know it. I know it's a disappointment.
Yeah, it just couldn't be helped, I guess.
I mean, it shouldn't make any difference, should it?
The one difference it could make, they might find the right person for the job before they see me again.
Oh, no, Draper, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't hire anyone else without seeing you first. I mean, I'm absolutely sure of that.
I was so primed for this interview. April, I was so positive I was going to get the job this time.
You are going to get it. Draper, listen to me. It is just a matter of time. I know that. I know that. Okay, no one is going to stand in your way this time. Hear me? No one.
I know how you feel, Paige, honestly.
Could you, Brian? You weren't the one frightened half out of her mind by a horrible practical joke.
Mom didn't mean it as a joke. She really thought that dangling that stupid rubber rat in front of you was gonna help the scene.
I thought you were the director of the movie, Brian. Wasn't it up to you to decide what would help the scene?
Oh, hell, I'm no director. God knows why I took this movie on in the first place. I mean, all I've directed in my life were Navy training films and a couple documentaries.
Brian, would you have let your mother frighten me that way?
No, I wouldn't. I thought it was a terrible idea.
It wasn't even in the script. It was all her own doing. And I don't think she did it for the benefit of the movie either.
Well, you heard Mom's explanation. By springing this little surprise on you, she did get a look of total surprise on your face, Paige. Look, you remember the movie The Turning Point?
Yes.
All right, remember the scene? Remember the scene where Anne Bancroft throws a glass of water into Shirley MacLaine's face? Well, that was the same kind of thing. See, Shirley MacLaine wasn't expecting that bit of business, and it made for a very effective reaction.
A glass of water.
Yeah.
But a rat? Brian, I'm horribly afraid of rats, of anything that crawls for that matter, and Nolan knew it too.
All right, she was wrong. She admitted she was wrong.
Not to me.
Paige, you just can't walk out on this movie because of this one incident. It isn't fair to anybody.
You don't have that much of me on film, Brian. You can find a replacement and she'll probably do a much better job.
Oh, I think you're doing just fine as Patience, Paige. You're exactly the way I visualized her when I read the script. You're young, innocent, appealing, and God knows, very, very beautiful.
Brian, don't you see there's more to this than Nola's explanation? There's some deep hatred behind her act.
No, Paige, no, I don't see that at all.
Well, you do know that she hates me, and she hates me now more than ever because I'm friends with Deborah.
Paige, we all have to put aside any personal feelings right now. We've got to get this picture made.
Why? Because it's going to make things better for this family? That's what we keep saying, isn't it? But what's going to change, Brian? We'll still be what we are. A brother and a sister who should have been lovers. And Daddy will never be happy living with your mother. Even if she becomes Nola Patterson movie star, he's still not going to be in love with her because he's in love with Deborah.
Okay, it's not going to change a damn thing. But that's no reason that it has to fall apart.
No, I don't want it to fall apart. I want the movie to be a success too, especially now that you're the director. It's the beginning of a whole new career for you, a wonderful career.
I don't have any illusions about that, Paige. I'm just thinking about our parents and what it'll mean to them.
Brian, there's something wrong with your mother. I know I shouldn't say it, but I see it so clearly and you just refuse to.
She's not drinking.
No, she's not. But I feel that she's found something else within her that is just as unhealthy. Now, that's just what I think, and I don't know what to call it. I'm no doctor, but I think that she's let her jealousy poison her mind. She's not normal. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say anything. I don't know anything about it.
No, Paige, no, it's okay. I've noticed it too. Who can help but notice it?
Listen. I'm not gonna quit that picture. I'm acting like a baby. I'm not gonna desert the ship so long as you get the rats overboard, okay?
There's got to be a light around here somewhere. Fire alarm. Ghost of Hester Atherton, huh? So you were a little sight gag, huh, Hester? Maybe everything that's been happening around here has been deliberate. Well, I'm gonna talk to somebody about this. Talk to yourself.
Yes, Paige told Brian that she wasn't going to quit. No thanks to you, I might add.
I really don't see what all the fuss is about. If you ask me, what I did improved that scene enormously. The first rehearsals were absolutely dreary.
Look, I agree that Paige needs working with. That's one thing to work with someone, quite another to scare them half to death.
Well, I would have discussed the idea with you, only I thought you might think it was too bizarre.
You might have discussed it with your son, the director, instead of hanging what looked like a dead rat in front of her face.
It was only a rubber toy, a prop. If your daughter's going to be a professional, Owen, she ought to get used to such things.
Hey, take a look at this. I told you this would pay off. The National magazine would pick us up.
Wait, what are you talking
Well,
about?
it's not the cover story, but it's the second feature article. See for yourself. Everybody, one of the hottest magazines today.
Well, for heaven's sake. It's the third time the charm. Owen Madison tries to bring Mansion of the Damned to the screen despite the devil's disapproval.
How about that?
Turn the page. Nola, is that a gorgeous picture of you, or isn't it?
Nola Patterson makes comeback attempt through witchcraft. Will the old magic still work? They sound a little doubtful, don't they?
Oh, never mind about that. The people who write this kind of thing tend to be wise guys. But we got 3 fat pages out of this, and the movie isn't even in the can.
And may never be, Eddie, the way things are going.
Oh, come on, it's got to be finished now. Well, this article alone guarantees its distribution. But the biggest exhibitors in the country are going to be knocking on our doors now instead of the other way around.
It's wonderful, Eddie. It really is. So the curse worked after all, didn't it?
I told you it would. I told you we didn't have to worry about mentioning the curse, that it was $1 million bit of publicity.
Well, Eddie, it's just not the publicity that's going to sell many tickets, I don't think.
Sure it is. And this is just the beginning. You'll see. It's the old domino theory. Once one magazine runs a story, the rest of them will be clamoring to get on the bandwagon.
Well, I think it's absolutely marvelous, Eddie, and you really should be congratulated. Owen?
Yes, oh, all right, congratulations. I would have preferred an article about what a terrific picture we're making, but I'll take what I can get.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Madison, there's a telephone call for you.
Oh.
Someone from the police department.
Fine. Lillian, I'll take it in my study.
Someone from the police department. Lillian?
Yes, ma'am.
The person who called just now, was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman, ma'am. Secretary, I suppose.
Oh, Lillian, how chauvinistic we are. Don't you know that women are on the police force these days?
Yes, ma'am. Scandalous, if you ask me.
Yes. Scandalous is the word.
Now, take it easy, Nola. Hey, don't you want to read the whole article?
Oh, thank you. I'll read it upstairs if you don't mind.
No, it's okay. Read it. Read it.
I know I shouldn't be calling you at home, Owen, but this is important. It's police business. Something's been going on at the studio.
What do you mean?
I don't want to explain it to you over the phone, but look, it's important. I've got to talk to you tomorrow.
Well, all right. Look, can I call you from the soundstage? Or maybe...
All right, I'll be off duty in the afternoon, and maybe we can arrange something.
You know, this is the first time that you've asked me to meet you.
Yeah, Guthrie.
Mr. Guthrie, this is Lester Birdwell from Glenboro.
Oh, Birdwell, how you doing?
I'm
I'm fine. Look, I know I don't work for Mr. Madison anymore, but just the same, I think you ought to know that something's been going on up here tonight.
Oh, like what? More mysterious lights?
Yeah, well, I saw lights all right, but this time I know where they came from. I mean, I walked right up to that window and I looked in.
Hey, good for you, Birdwell. Proves you're not afraid of ghosts.
I didn't see any ghost in there, I can tell you that. I mean, I haven't seen too many red-headed ghosts around lately, have you?
Wait a minute. What'd you say?
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, I saw a woman in there. I mean, she was a real pretty little redhead, and she had a flashlight in her hand. Now, I don't know what she was doing in there, but she couldn't have been up to anything good, you know that.
A redhead? Well, why didn't you ask her, Birdwell?
Well, I don't work for those people anymore. I mean, why should I stick my neck out, huh?
Well, you're still a cop, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I just thought you'd like to know, that's all.
Well, yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot. Deborah.
Nola go upstairs?
Yeah, she went upstairs. She wanted to finish the article.
I don't mean to seem ungrateful, Eddie. I know you've been working very hard to promote this film. I think you've been doing one heck of a job, really.
Well, I wanted to make it work, Owen. It means a lot to me. Hell, it means a lot to all of us. I just hate to see you get discouraged, that's all.
Sometimes it's just hard to keep my enthusiasm up, that's all. Guess that's pretty obvious, huh? Well, no, you're right. We gotta finish this movie. If only for Nola's sake.
You, do still care about Nola, don't you?
Yes, I care about her.
Oh, there was a time when she was the most important thing in the world to you. Hell, she was the most important thing to me, too, but you came along and committed grand larceny. Owen, can I ask you a big question?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't ask it unless we were friends, good friends.
We've always been that, Eddie.
Owen, do you still love Nola?
I care for her, Eddie. I'm not in love with her.
Guess a difficult question always gets a difficult answer, huh?
I'd only tell you that, Eddie.
Sure.
No, I don't want to hurt Nola. I don't want to lie to her either. Or to myself. No, whatever feelings we had disappeared in the fog of Los Angeles a long time ago. Although how or why, I couldn't begin to tell you.
Well, I guess one of the hardest things to pin down is exactly how you feel about a person.
Tell me.
And now, there's another person, right?
Yes, there is. I guess I haven't done a very good job of concealing it, have I? Well, to tell you the truth, Eddie, I don't want to conceal it. Man, I just want to shout it out from the rooftops. I want it to be an article in Everybody magazine. That's the way I feel about it.
You've talked this over with Nola, haven't you?
Yeah. I told her that I'm seeing Deborah Saxon. That's her name.
Why, I know her name. She was just on the phone, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact. It was a business call, however, not personal.
Sure?
Oh, come on, Eddie. You know me better than that. I don't fool around very much. Never have. My father was a Calvinist. Did you know that? And one of those stern moralist types. I rebelled against him plenty when I was young, but it's sort of wild. When I got older, I became him, which was a little difficult out there in Lotus Land.
Well, I remember what a straight arrow you always were.
Oh.
Made the rest of us look awful bad.
I don't know. I just never cared about one-night stands. Now, what I cared about was a woman to share my life with. And Nola stopped being the sharing kind. I tell you, Eddie, there's no loneliness like the kind you find in a bad marriage.
And, Miss Detective, how does she feel about all this?
Rotten. Same way I do. I have my code, she has hers.
She's not particularly crazy about your being married.
No, she's not.
Prince of eternal darkness, come unto me. Master of foulness, hold out thy hand. Breathe thy tongue of fire upon my face. Scorch my lips with thy searing kiss. Brand my soul with the irons of hell. I accept thee, Lord of Evil. My heart yields to thy power. Lupus, Letahim, Frugativi, et Athalavi. Thus I evoke thee, Satan! You!
Cousin Hester? Oh, God in heaven, it was.
Spy on me! Spy!
No! I just came to ask you not to send me to that place.
And now you have seen what no other eyes have seen. And those eyes must now be closed.
No, forever! Oh, please, no, 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 no!
Oh, my God! It's all right, Owen.
It's a trick dagger.
Brian, she meant to kill me.
It's all right, Pete. That's
I
only a
could see
prop.
it in her eyes, Daddy. I could see it.
Nola.
I'm so sorry I upset you. But surely you weren't really afraid.
I'm sorry, Nola, but I was. I mean, did you have to use that horrible thing? It was just a rehearsal.
But it was a dress rehearsal, Paige. We wanted to do the scene exactly as it would be shot. Isn't that right, Brian?
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh, honey, you didn't think that the dagger was real, did you?
Yeah, Daddy, I did. I mean, you saw the way it stuck into the table.
Well, I mean, a good trick dagger has to appear real, doesn't it?
Let me show you how it works, my dear. You see, when you press down on the hilt, it locks the blade in place. But when you release the catch, the blade retracts.
I see.
I think Paige is infected with all this curse nonsense.
Yes, I agree, and I think the less said about it, the better. I really do.
Paige, if you'd like to lie down before we start actual shooting, it's fine with me.
Oh, no. I mean, really, the delays have been enough already, so let's just go ahead and shoot it.
Well, at least you know there's nothing to fear.
Oh, I know that.
Ghost of Hester Atherton, huh? Got to talk to Owen about this. Oh my God. Calvin's meeting.
Well, well, if it isn't our latest casualty. Commissioner, you know Detective Guthrie?
Yes, of course. What happened to your arm, Detective?
Well, it's not my arm. It's more like my shoulder. I got bashed by a chandelier.
As I thought we were supposed to start this meeting promptly at 1600 hours, Calvin. Now, this is supposed to be an 8-man squad.
Well, yes, sir. I told you about Anderson. He's on vacation. And the other man is Detective Saxon.
Well, now, what's this supposed to mean? A woman's prerogative to be late?
Commissioner, I'm sure she would have been on time if she knew how important the meeting was. By the way, what's the meeting about?
Well, you'll find out when Detective Saxon arrives.
I'm sorry I'm late, Calvin. Oh. Hi, Commissioner.
Would you close the door, please? We've got half a dozen more meetings just like this one, and I'm running behind schedule. Well, Calvin, this is still your command, at least for the moment, so, would you take over?
Yes, sir. Okay, men and lady. I suppose you're all good enough detectives by now to have figured out what that remark meant.
Yeah, Chief Marceau's coming back.
Well, you could say that. And I don't mind telling you that I'll be relieved to be out from behind this desk and back on the street. But the reason we have set up a series of meetings is to make an announcement. The announcement is that someone else is going to be sitting behind this desk. Chief Marceau has elected to take his retirement.
You're kidding.
Well, I don't believe it. He would never do such a thing.
No, listen now, really. I know that for a long time we all thought we'd have to carry the guy out of here. But for those of you who don't know it, the chief hit his 30th anniversary with the force a couple of weeks ago.
Why didn't he say something about it?
Well, I can answer that. I'm sure you all know that Bill Marceau is a low-key guy who hates fuss almost as much as he hates red tape. Nobody ever threw an anniversary party for him because nobody ever knew when his anniversary was. Now, the last thing he wanted to do was stir up the department with his retirement.
It just doesn't seem possible, Commissioner.
Well, I can't think of any man on this force, now or in the past, that's earned his retirement more than Bill Marceau. And I can assure you, we'd have kept him in this job until he reached the mandatory age if he'd wanted to stay.
Look, guys, it's just as simple as this. The chief decided it was time to turn over the wheel to a younger guy. That's all to it.
Yeah? Who? His name is Derek Mallory. He was formerly a deputy police chief in Denver, and this is his first command assignment. But I can assure you, his qualifications are as good as they get.
Well, they better be. He's got some pair of shoes to fill.
Just give him a chance. He'll do the job.
When do we meet Chief Mallory?
Right now. Helen, would you ask the chief to come in, please?
Hey, let's hear it. The first thing I intend to improve around here is this coffee.
Chief Mallory, gentlemen and lady.
Mr. Mallory.
Chief.
Hello.
How you doing, Mel?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome aboard, Chief.
Hello. Is it okay if I use my desk? I'm sure the commissioner told you that I've never had a full command before. Now, maybe that's going to rub some of you the wrong way. I also know that there's going to be some flack about Captain Anderson not succeeding Chief Marceau.
Well, now, I'd like to put a spike into that one right now. For your information, Ed Anderson was offered this job 3 months ago and turned it down.
So you see, I'm his second choice.
Ed just felt that he was too far along in years to bring the vitality that the job needed. I don't have to tell you the problems of the Monticello PD. Even though we have the same manpower and budget we had 5 years ago, crime has risen in this town along with the population. So, if we can't have new dollars, we'll have to have new ideas.
Like what, if you don't mind my asking?
No, I have no intention of divulging any plans or procedural changes at this meeting. For one thing, I don't know enough about the department to make any firm recommendations. But there will be changes. You can count on that.
Yeah, well, we've all heard about new brooms, Chief.
That's right. Detective Stoner, is it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure I'll make plenty of mistakes, and maybe a few enemies, too. There are bound to be men and officers on this force who won't like my ideas, who will expect me to act just like Chief Marceau. Well, I never even met the man.
Oh, you're lost, Chief.
Maybe so. But Chief Marceau had his way of doing things, and I have mine. And I'll have to do this job the way I think is right.
Well, I'm sure nobody would argue with that.
Just give me a little time, gentlemen. That's all I have to say right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Detective Stoner,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to need this office for the next couple of hours. Would you mind clearing out your things a little later on?
Well, actually, I'm all cleared out right now, Chief. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, that was quite a surprise.
I think I'm still in a state of shock.
How long have you known about this, Calvin?
Well, I've known about it for a couple of days, but they told me I had to keep my mouth shut until it became official. Well, I guess it's official now.
I think it's time for the Three Musketeers to get together and have a council. What do you say?
It sounds like a great idea to me. As a matter of fact, I'd love to just limp on down to the coffee shop with you two.
I can't do it right now, Calvin. I've got a phone call I've got to make.
Oh, sure. Well, some other time.
Okay. See you later.
Three Musketeers, huh? That's what Chief Marceau used to say all the time. Well, I guess we'll never hear that again.
Nope. I guess we're in for some changes, all right.
Yeah. Well, we've had plenty of changes already.
Think we'll have enough dirt here, Dad?
I don't know. Listen, you know how much this stuff costs. Whoever used the phrase dirt cheap didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Well, I just hope Paige won't get hysterical in this scene, too.
Paige will be fine.
I certainly hope so.
On, excuse me, telephone call for you. Oh, Willard, fine. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
From police headquarters, no doubt.
Hello?
Owen, hi, it's Deborah. I know you're busy, but I've got to find out when we can get together. It's very important.
There's just one more thing we're shooting today. It isn't very long. I'll leave the minute it's finished.
All right, I'll meet you at the Coach House. You know where the place is?
Yeah, no, I know. I'll be there.
I just wish I could convince the two of you to stay for dinner. I'd like to reciprocate for that lovely meal you gave me.
Margot, you don't owe us anything. I'll tell you what I would like, though. Have you happened to find a dirty old pair of pink, very comfortable slippers? I think I may have left them here when I was staying with you.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, darling. I haven't seen them. Maybe Jenny put them in the back of one of my closets.
Well, I sure hope you find them. If you don't, that means you'll be back in a department store looking for another pair.
Back? Draper, you make it sound like all I do is go shopping.
Oh, I don't want to imply that. It's just that when you do go shopping, you don't come home with just one package, if you catch my drift.
No, I don't. Listen, you may get the impression that Draper isn't exactly dancing for joy this evening.
That's what's the matter, Draper?
Why don't you tell Margot about the phone call? I think she'd be very interested in hearing about what Mr. Henson had to say.
David Henson?
Yeah, he called the other night, believe it or not. Spoke to Draper. I guess it proves he really exists. Huh?
My, well, what did he say, Draper?
Another disappointment. I should have known that Henson changing his mind about me was just too good to be true.
Well, as I understand it, he hadn't decided to give you the job. He just changed his mind about seeing you.
Well, now he's not even going to do that. He had to go back into the hospital, so he postponed our meeting indefinitely.
I told Draper not to worry, that it won't change things.
No, of course it won't. I mean, darling, you've waited this long for the interview, another day or week. It certainly won't matter.
It does matter, and I'll tell you why. It was a stall. The man wasn't convincing. He just told me what he thought I wanted to hear. I don't think he ever had any intention of seeing me.
Draper, I just think you're being a pessimist. Don't you think so?
Definitely.
Well, now that my drink is half empty, that is what pessimists say, isn't it?
Come on.
I think I'll be getting back to the office.
Oh, darling, you're not going back to work, surely.
I have to do some things back there. You meet me later for dinner?
I will.
Well, I'm glad that you at least stopped by for a drink. And look, don't worry about that job in New York, darling. You know the old saying, que sera, sera.
All right. I hope you find the slippers.
Me too.
And thank you for the drink, Margot.
Oh, you're certainly welcome, dear.
Okay, don't work too hard.
And don't worry. Well, we'd better get to our closet search, hadn't we?
No, I think there's something else we have to search for first.
What?
An answer.
About what?
About why Mr. Henson called and backed down on his agreement.
Because the poor man is ill. I mean, isn't that what Draper said?
Margot, he was ill when we went to New York. That's why we couldn't see him. Now, all of a sudden, he's ill and back in the hospital. I find that rather suspicious.
Draper, please don't talk like that.
Margot, you did admit to me that it was because of you that Draper's chances were spoiled in the first place.
I also admitted that I was wrong, and I made up for it, now didn't I? I called David Henson, and I insisted that he see Draper with an open mind. Now, you were there.
Yes, I was there, and I heard you.
Well, so this is just another little delay, that's all. Oh, come on, darling, I had nothing to do with it. As much as I want you to stay in Monticello, I know better than to try to interfere in your life again. You do believe me, don't you?
I think I'm gonna go look for those slippers.
All right, Jack, the smoke effect looks great. We'll go with this. Quiet on the set, please. And roll sound. Speed. Roll camera.
Speed.
Roll playback. Slate it, King.
Scene 24, take 1, sound 78.
And action.
Well, well. What do we have here?
Oh, you startled me.
Planting your garden this early in the year, Hester? Oh, now I see you're not planting, you're transplanting, huh? Transplanting that lovely young flower.
I had to do it. She saw me. She witnessed everything. She would have run through the town screaming, "Burn the witch!"
They didn't burn witches in Salem, Hester. They hanged them. But do you really think that people would have believed this wretched young girl you had driven out of her wits? Was it really necessary to kill her?
Yes, yes. I had to kill her.
You were afraid of her, weren't you, Esther? That's why I tried to drive her into the madhouse. You were afraid that her beauty would take Tom Halifax away from you.
She would have denounced me at my own wedding. Dear God, my wedding. I'm to be wed tomorrow. And tonight I must bury her body. Please help me.
No, Esther. You've had all the help from me you deserved. Now, what have I had in return?
I gave you my allegiance, but you cannot have my soul.
Yes, you gave me your allegiance. But you also broke the vows you made me. The power I granted you, Hester, did not include the taking of a life. You broke the vows you made me, Hester.
Oh, leave me be. I have work to do. And I am going to be married in the morning.
Print that, Don. That was terrific.
Oh, Owen, what did you think?
Mama, I'm sorry. Dad had to leave.
Got here as soon as I could. Well, I tell you, this is quite an occasion. Oh, yeah, it's the first time you've ever asked me to meet you someplace.
Well, I don't think it's going to be quite what you expect, Owen. I told you I wanted to talk some business with you, and I meant it.
Well, come on, surely you don't mean police business.
Well, it could become that, yes. I don't want it to. It wouldn't do anybody any good.
What do you mean?
Owen, I haven't told anybody about this yet. And I'm not really sure of many of the details, but I have a theory I think I can prove.
About what?
About what's been going on at the sound studio. You know, all those mysterious things happening, the curse of the Mansion of the Damned.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Deborah, there's no such thing as a curse. It's just a figment of someone's overworked imagination, mostly Eddie Vaughn's.
Yes, Eddie Vaughn. Yeah, he would have reason to have an overworked imagination, wouldn't he? Especially if he would recognize the dollars and cents potential.
What are you talking about?
Owen, I don't believe that there's a curse of Hester Atherton or that the devil doesn't want you to make this film. What I do believe is that there's a very human hand behind all the mischief that's been going on.
I'm listening.
I think I know where those mysterious lights have been coming from after quitting time. They're coming from somebody working to set things up for the next day.
You're not talking about members of the crew.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about somebody rigging up a dummy to make it look like a witch, or setting chandeliers so that they'll fall at precisely the right moment. Somebody who's creating all kinds of special effects in order to scare certain people and impress other people, like members of the press.
My God.
Television reporters, newspaper reporters.
Eddie's done all this for the publicity?
Yes, and last night, Eddie's publicity stunt almost killed Steve Guthrie. Now, Owen, that has got to stop.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find, always on our mind, and frustrated days pass without sight, the edge of night, half dark, half light, as we watch our hearts trying to hold the tenderness.
Owen, I am talking about people rigging up dummies to look like witches and setting up chandeliers so that they fall in exactly the right spot, and creating all kinds of special effects in order to scare people and impress certain people, like members of the press.
My God.
Newspaper reporters, television reporters.
Eddie's done all this for the publicity.
Yes, and last night, Eddie's little publicity stunt almost killed Steve Guthrie. Now, Owen, that has got to stop.
Well, how did you find out?
Steve gave me the keys to the sound stage to give back to you. And of course, I've always been curious about what's been going on out there, so I went out there to take a look. I was walking around, and I pulled on a rope, and this big red thing came flying out at me.
God, you're kidding.
No, and I know that it wasn't part of the movie. Somebody set it there to scare somebody. Might have been the same thing that April Scott saw. I don't know. Who knows how many tricks.
Of course. I could just wring Eddie's neck. Oh.
Owen, I don't think he was alone in this.
You mean you think he had an accomplice?
I may be wrong, but I think Nola has been helping him.
Nola?
Yes. Now, you've told me how many close calls she's had, right? Now, I don't think Eddie would be foolish enough to rig all these falling objects up unless he was absolutely sure that she knew she wasn't going to be hurt.
Which means that Nola had to cooperate. She had to know exactly where to stand.
Yes. Unfortunately, Steve didn't know where to stand when the chandelier hit him.
Oh, my God.
Now, look, I'm not saying that they broke any laws or anything like that, but as a result of what they did, Steve was injured.
And Jason Reinhardt died of that heart attack.
Owen, you've got to stop this. It's not funny anymore.
Do you realize what they've done? They've made the curse on this movie real.
Hester Atherton, if only I did have your powers.
I appreciate your letting me be the first to know what you found out.
Well, you are the producer and my friend.
Thank you. So, whom do you tell next?
Nobody. I have no intention of letting the cat out of the bag, Owen.
You're doing this for me, aren't you?
I know what this picture means to you, Owen. I don't want to see it backfire.
I just can't thank you enough.
Don't bother. Just make sure that Eddie doesn't drop anything else on anybody else, even as a joke.
Look, I'll take care of Eddie and Nola. Put an end to this curse, okay? Same way I'm going to put an end to my marriage.
Owen, you know, it makes me feel very uncomfortable whenever you bring this up.
Why?
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 Because you never, ever have talked about this until we became friends.
Deborah, you know how I feel about you.
I don't want you to leave your wife on account of me.
I should have left her a long time ago.
But you decided to wait until now.
Well, sometimes you need a little motivation to get you going.
That's just the point. I don't want our relationship, whatever it is, to be the deciding factor in ending your marriage.
Relax, Deborah. You've never done anything to encourage me. So far.
Well, I don't intend to. The only reason you should take any steps is because you want to separate from Nola.
That's exactly what I want.
Well, just don't do it for me. Okay.
Who is it?
It's Elliot.
Oh, come in.
Well, the wicked old witch is transformed into a beautiful woman.
Thanks to 5 pounds of cold cream.
It's really an incredible job you're doing on this makeup. I haven't complimented you enough.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes I think removing the damn makeup is worse than putting it on.
That's worth it. Oh, you really are lovely, you know. But that's the only flaw in the picture. Are we ever going to convince the audience that Tom Halifax would prefer your cousin to you?
You're a gifted flatterer, Elliot.
I wish I were a gifted actor.
You've been doing a marvelous job.
Oh, thanks to the teaching. I hope you do realize that your assistance has been invaluable.
Well, I'm flattered that you bring your questions to me. God knows, I've worked with too many know-it-all leading men.
Well, I am the new boy on the block. When I came on this movie, I didn't know what kind of coaching I would get.
How do you mean?
Well, I've read so many stories about the leading ladies terrorizing the leading men.
And no doubt my name was mentioned in many of those stories, right? Well, I suppose I've mellowed with age.
You've become more beautiful.
How nice of you to say that, Elliot.
Yes, well, I know you hear words of praise so frequently that after a while the adulation must become a bore.
No, it's just that I've heard kind words so infrequently lately that I question the motive.
Well, I only meant to convey my deep appreciation for your friendship. You must believe that.
You know, you seem to be getting your lines from another character in this movie.
Who might that be?
Tom Halifax is a smooth talker, too. Making all his promises of love and fidelity to Hester while he really has his eyes on Patience.
No, that's an unfair comparison. When I'm on the set, I notice no one but you.
You don't have to play up to me, Elliot. You already have the part.
Well, if that's what you think I was doing,
Oh, please, I'm sorry. I guess that wasn't a very nice thing to say.
why did you say it?
Well, a handsome young devil like yourself, you should be using those lines on some pretty young starlet.
I'm not interested in starlets.
Oh, only in stars. Well, I'm afraid that doesn't describe me either.
I happen to prefer mature women. Beautiful, mature women.
Oh, yes. You even married one, didn't you?
Yes, I did. But that marriage is over now.
Anyway, I don't want you to feel that you owe me any adulation, as you call it. You got this part because we needed you.
Okay. From now on, the only thanks I'll say is for the acting lessons, okay? Have a nice evening.
You too.
Oh, there is one more thing.
What's that?
I was wondering if you, wanted to have dinner with me one night.
Dinner?
Yes, I know you, are alone some nights, your husband being very busy with the production.
Yes, Owen is very busy.
That would give me a chance to get to know Nola Patterson, the woman. With your husband's permission, of course.
Oh, how very proper you are.
I'll broach the topic with him tonight. Although I think it would be simpler if you did it yourself.
Elliot, Owen never asks my permission when he decides to have dinner with friends, so why should I? No. Whatever night you care to get together is fine with me.
David, I knew that you were in the hospital rather recently, and I was terribly distressed to hear that you're going back in for further tests.
Have you been talking to my physician, Margot?
No, of course not.
But you seem to know something that I don't.
I don't understand.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, I'm in reasonably good health.
When I spoke to Draper earlier this evening, he told me you were ill.
Well, I must have sounded pretty convincing when I told him that.
You're not on your way to the hospital.
No, Margot, I only told Draper that as an excuse not to see him, as you so forcefully requested.
Oh, I see.
It was the first excuse that popped in my head, but then I thought it over, and I decided that this was as good a time as any to take my wife on that vacation that I've been promising her for months.
David, for heaven's sakes, you could have seen the boy.
Margot, the truth is I can't even look that boy in the face. It was bad enough what I did for you the first time. Took a lot of flack from my partners about that, say nothing about what I took on my own conscience.
Well, you shouldn't worry about it. He was not right for the job. I just know that.
You mean it wouldn't be right for you to have your daughter move out of town?
Damn Mike Carr anyway. Why doesn't he keep his nose out of other people's business?
I think he feels the same way about you.
What did you say?
Well, Margot, don't you realize that Mr. Khan knows very well that you were the person responsible for this whole situation?
No, I didn't know that. Did he mention my name?
The man wasn't born yesterday, Margot. Even if Draper Scott doesn't realize that his mother-in-law was pulling the strings, Mr. Carr does.
Well, how did he find out?
Well, I certainly didn't tell him.
Oh, dear God.
I gather he hasn't told Draper anything. Apparently, he doesn't want to spoil your happy family relationship.
But he does know, and then that means that his wife knows. Oh, of course, when she was here at the party, she mentioned your name. Oh, she knows, David.
Margot, I've got an awful lot of packing to do. We're visiting 6 different countries, and my wife has a wardrobe for every single one of them.
Yes, of course. I hope you have a lovely trip.
I feel like a rotten coward, of course, but I'll get over it. It's nothing like a sea voyage to make you forget.
Yes, well, maybe when you come back, the job will be filled and this whole nasty mess will be behind. Yes, well, it was lovely talking to you again, too. Yes, dear, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Well, did you find them?
Yep, here they are. Good. So, who was that on the phone?
Oh, nobody, you know, darling. Nobody.
Do you know, I looked high and low, my whole entire house looking for these silly things until I realized that I had left them over here when I was your house guest.
Yeah, well, I must have misplaced them when I decided to expedite matters by packing for Elliot.
Yeah, you sure must have. I found them tucked away in the back of a big walk-in closet.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't too meticulous about where I threw things. I was just anxious to get him out of here.
Margot, I still feel rather badly about what happened with you and Elliot, the way things happened.
Yeah, I guess this was a rather full house, and it turned into a singles pad overnight, didn't it?
For the best, though, don't you think?
Oh, definitely for the best. Yes, you belong with Draper, and Elliot belongs with the devil.
Yeah, look, speaking of Draper, he should be finished up at work, and Logan is meeting us for dinner. Why don't you join us? I don't think either Logan or Draper will mind.
No, I don't think they would. I think Draper's turning over a new leaf. By golly, he was almost civil to me tonight.
Margot Draper is a sensitive person, and he realizes that you've had a hard time with this breakup with Elliot. Really. And besides, he doesn't want to alienate the grandmother of it.
Watch your language. and give me a rain check on that invitation, okay? I just have a few things I have to clear up tonight.
Sure. Listen, do you have a bag for these? I don't want to stick. I'll get my pocket.
Yeah, I think I have something in the closet.
Thank you.
These are the slippers you were wearing that night that you had that little run-in with Elliot. The night we found all the jewels from the burglary on the bar over there.
Yeah, I guess they were.
You know the funny thing about that burglary? People took jewels that weren't worth half as much as some of the ones they left behind.
Well, I guess neither Elliot nor Sarah were very good appraisers. Thank you.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that nothing was sold. Everything turned up on the bar.
Well, why would they stage a burglary if they didn't want to make money?
I don't know, unless it... You know, I just realized something. The jewels weren't the only thing that was taken that night.
What else was taken?
My gun.
You mean the gun that mysteriously showed up at my apartment not long after?
The gun that Draper was so certain had killed Wade Meacham, that gun.
Well, it was the same caliber.
And Elliot knew that, too. Oh, my God. Maybe it wasn't so mysterious the way it turned up.
Margaret, you think Elliot did it?
Oh, he must have. Do you realize what this means? This means he wanted me to be arrested. This means he staged the robbery so he could set it up that I'd be arrested and then he could live here in the lap of luxury at my expense while I was running in jail. Oh, my God. He wanted me to be arrested for murder.
Hey, don't sidestep the issue. I want to know the truth.
Owen, this movie came complete with curse in a neat little package. I did not make it up.
All you did was embellish it a little.
People like to believe in ghosts and witches and that sort of thing. They enjoy being scared.
And you like to give the people what they want, don't you? That's always been your motto, Eddie.
We got a lot of mileage out of this curse business.
You know, by creating a hoax, perpetuating a fraud.
I like to think of it as creating an illusion.
Oh, God, I knew it! Knew it! There's never been anything supernatural about this whole business.
Oh, I don't know, Owen. Maybe the devil made me do it.
All the supposed hauntings, all these near disasters were rigged by you.
Harmless pranks, that's all they were.
Harmless? Are you kidding me? Jason Reinhardt had a fatal heart attack. You nearly killed Steve Guthrie.
Well, how the hell was I supposed to know that Guthrie would be prowling around there in the middle of the night?
Eddie, why did you do it?
Owen, Mansion of the Damned is little more than a run-of-the-mill B movie. I had to do something to make it stick in people's minds.
Look, there are a lot of low-budget films that make money without all this hokum.
Oh, Owen, we are playing in the big leagues now. A major studio makes a motion picture. They spend $5 million just to shoot the thing,
and another couple of million just to pipe it. Now, how can we compete with that?
I see. So we get free publicity by making everything that happens on the set a media event. Is that it?
I was just trying to provide a little mystery, a little magic for the project. And it'll pay us back tenfold, too.
What you did was unethical.
I had the best of intentions, Owen.
Hey, my God, the road to hell is paved with the best intentions.
Oh, I thought I heard voices in here. What's going on?
Oh, just a difference of opinion between your producer and his PR man, that's all.
Oh, well, perhaps an impartial third party can help resolve the problem.
You can't be part of the solution, Nola, when you're part of the problem.
What did I do?
My wife, my best friend, plotting behind my back. It's just incredible.
Oh, and what are you talking about?
You might as well come along peacefully. The jig, as they say, is up.
Nola, you were Eddie's accomplice in this hoax about the curse on the film. He couldn't have done it without your cooperation.
Eddie came to me with an idea to gain some publicity for the film. I thought it was valid, so I agreed to help.
I just want you two to know how contemptible I think it was.
Oh, Owen, you've always been a little too honest.
It was nothing more than simple theatrics, darling.
Wait a minute. Now I see. No wonder you two were never worried about the curse on the picture.
Oh, Eddie, why did you tell him?
Who, me? My lips were sealed.
Then how did you come to this brilliant deduction, Owen?
Yeah. Does it matter? The important thing is that I know.
Oh, I'll just bet the information was supplied by your lady cop friend. She'd be more than happy to tell you anything that would make me look bad in your eyes. Did she tell you, Owen? Will you be honest about that?
Just be thankful that she is a friend. She's agreed to keep this whole thing a secret.
Oh, well, of course. All she cares about is that you know.
Nola, if she filed an official report, your little pranks would be on public record.
Yeah, and if the newspaper boys found out about it, we really would get roasted.
You're damn right they would. They hate to be made fools of, Eddie, and so do I.
Oh, Owen, you're making too much of this.
Nola, look. If this whole business got out, we wouldn't stand a chance of getting a distributor for the film.
But you just said that Deborah was going to keep it under her hat, so stop worrying.
Ever since I have started work on this Mansion of the Damned, I have had nothing but aggravation. Now, I'm telling you two, as far as I'm concerned, we can just close up shop right now and forget the whole thing.
You can't do that. We've all worked too hard.
From now on, just confine your activities to the script, okay? And as far as you're concerned, Eddie, I just keep a low profile for a while, all right? And no more stunts.
I've never seen Owen this upset.
Yeah, I haven't had the riot act read to me like that since I forgot to polish my shoes in boot camp.
What do we do now?
Well, I think we'd better do as the man says and let the ghost of Hester Atherton ride off quietly into the sunset.
I need a drink.
I could use a cup of coffee myself.
It's not what I want.
Nola, raising a glass or two or three is not going to solve anything.
That's a matter of opinion.
Nola, you've been very strong. Now, don't throw it all away now.
Oh, what's the difference?
Just get control of yourself, that's all, please. Sure, Owen blew off a lot of steam, but he doesn't stay angry very long. He'll get over it.
Look, you had a marvelous plan, Eddie. Owen is foolish to make us stop now.
Nevertheless, I don't think it would be a very good idea to call his bluff right now.
No, damn it. There's one more thing we have to do. I've been giving it a lot of thought. The pièce de résistance.
Nola.
Look, if we're careful, there is no way Owen could blame us for what I have in mind.
I don't think I even want to hear this.
Look, since this is a picture about hell and the devil, what more fitting climax for our curse than for the production to end in a blaze of glory? Eddie, there has to be fire. Since this is a picture about hell and the devil, what more fitting climax for our curse than for this production to end in a blaze of glory? Eddie, there has to be fire.
You mean like a mock burning of the witch? Send old Hester to the stake?
No, Eddie, I mean a real fire. Oh, God, what a marvelous image I have. All the sets from Mansion of the Damned being enveloped by a wall of flames.
You mean you want to set fire to the studio?
Oh, after we complete filming, of course.
I thought I had some wild ideas.
Look, this happens to be the most practical thing we can do, for more reason than one.
But do you realize how much money Owen has tied up in the renovation of that soundstage?
Money he'll never recoup, unless this film grosses an awful lot of money.
Well, he could rent out the studio.
To whom? It was abandoned for years before Owen got a hold of it.
Maybe the picture will be a great success and we can do the sequel, Return to Mansion of the Damned.
Eddie, Owen has the place insured. This way, he's guaranteed to get back at least part of his investment.
No, you make this sound like we're a couple of Boy Scouts doing their daily good deed.
I rather like that analogy.
But we just promised Owen that we would do no more pranks, no more projection of ghosts onto terraces, no more chandeliers falling, and now you're talking about arson.
But nobody's going to get hurt by this.
It's still against the law.
Only if we get caught, and we won't. Eddie, the sets of Mansion of the Damned going up in smoke would make every news service in the country.
Yeah, it could be quite a media event.
You think of all the free publicity. Well, it'd be a crime not to do it.
Nola, the only publicity I see us getting out of this is from the picture in the paper when we get arrested. I can see the headlines now. Movie star gets 10 years.
Oh, look, there are so many combustible things around that studio. Who's to say a cigarette butt didn't start the fire?
Nola, do me a favor. Will you just please put this right out of your mind, and I will just pretend this conversation never existed.
Well, you don't have to help me, you know, Eddie.
Does that mean I'm going to have to search your bag for matches every time you leave the house?
It happened before, you know. The second production of Mansion of the Damned ended because of a fire. That's where I got my idea.
Only ours will take place after we finish shooting.
Exactly. Oh, Eddie, please consider it. It makes sense from so many angles.
Look, Nola, I simply don't look well in prison gray.
Look, it's the perfect way to convince people that our story does have a curse on it. Oh, people will line up in the dead of winter to see what the devil was so upset about.
Please, just forget it, Nola. It's too risky.
All right, Eddie. I suppose you're right. I guess I did get carried away. Just forget that I ever said it,
You, really sure that I can forget it?
Oh, well, of course, Eddie. You're absolutely right. It's risky, it's foolish, and we did promise Owen that there would be no more publicity stunts.
From now on, we're on a good behavior, right?
Yeah, we can thank Detective Saxon for that, can't we? She seems determined to spoil everything for me.
Oh, come on now, Nola. She's keeping our secret. I mean, we should be grateful.
Grateful? To her?
Well, if she blew the whistle, we could get into a lot of trouble.
You realize why Owen got the promise from her, don't you? Because she's in love with him.
Oh, now, don't start that again, Nola.
I'm sure they've been together. I could almost smell her cheap perfume on him.
Please, just cut out that kind of talk.
Yes, you're right. I don't have time for talk right now, anyway. I have some calls to make.
I'm up. I just was resting with my eyes closed.
Yeah, look, I have had a long day. Last thing I need is somebody loitering on my desk.
Why don't you arrest me?
Don't tempt me.
Well, I won't go quietly. You'll have to drag me in a back room and coerce me.
Don't get your hopes up.
When are you going to realize what a prize catch I am? You know, someday some woman's going to come along here and sweep me off my feet.
Well, when you find a candidate, let me know. I'll send her a broom.
That's one for you. I heard about your problem. Some guy giving you a hassle?
Who told you?
Oh, you guardian angels have our sources. Somebody let themselves into your apartment, made a mess, and now they're making weird phone calls to you.
You know, if this call had come from a heavy breather, I would have put you on my list of suspects.
That's two for you. Well, at least we know this suspect is not asthmatic.
That's not funny. No point.
I'm sorry. I just thought I would come by and stay by you until this thing's straightened out.
Look, I have enough problems without you, Cliff.
No, you're not going to talk me out of it. I want to escort you home.
Look, no, you're not.
Hey, you can't stop me. I mean, I'm just walking the streets. You know, I have me going the same direction as you.
You know, I should have used this billy club on the top of your head instead of the bottom of your feet.
I'd have sued you for assault. Think of me as in training for the Olympic walking team, and my course happens to go right by 265 Spruce Street.
What a coincidence.
Look, I'm going to take care of you whether you like it or not.
Well, just don't walk very close to me. The less people who know we're together, the better I like it.
Keep telling you, I'm wearing you down.
Let's just go.
Oh, by the way, have you met the new boss?
Oh, you mean Chief Mallory? Yeah, I met him this afternoon.
Chief Derek Mallory. Whoever heard of a chief of police named Derek?
Whoever heard of a pain in the neck named Clifford?
That's three for you. What's he like, anyway? Everything I read about him in the paper makes him sound like this tough super cop you only see on TV.
I don't know him very well yet. Although he should have taken a course in manners when he was at the police academy.
Just who do these people think they are, anyway? Junior G-men?
I don't know if the auxiliary police would care to be referred to that way.
They're just a bunch of citizens who get their jollies dressing up as cops and going out on patrol a couple of nights a week.
Look, I don't know what it was like where you came from, but here in Monticello, those people perform a pretty important function.
Now they want to ride around in unused patrol cars.
Well, they say it's going to give them greater mobility. Look, I hope you don't mind the suggestion, Chief, but the way you handle this is going to be kind of important to the image you project in this town.
Well, I'm going to do what I think is right. Not what I think is going to be popular.
Well, I'm just glad it's you that's got to deal with all these problems instead of me.
From what I've seen, you did a pretty fair job as acting chief.
Well, thanks. But as soon as I finish briefing you with all these pending things, I'll be more than happy to get back on the street and start chasing the bad guys.
Now, the streets are all right, but the real challenge is here in administration.
Well, I don't know if I envy you. You're going to have a big problem following in your predecessor's footsteps.
St. William Marceau, huh?
Man earned a lot of respect.
Now, I haven't heard a discouraging word about him since I hit town.
Oh, guess a lot of people were just unhappy to see him leave.
From what I've seen, Marceau ran a pretty loose ship.
Well, he was a fairly easygoing kind of guy, you know.
You don't always get results saying please and thank you, not in this kind of job.
Why not? I've never seen it hurt.
What this department lacks is discipline, and that's the one thing you have to operate at maximum efficiency.
Whatever you say, Chief.
Well, maybe that's why this department is nowhere near as good as it could be. Because Chief Marceau was Mr. Nice Guy. I'm sorry, Stoner. I suppose that last remark was a low blow.
Yeah, well, all I know is Bill Marceau was in this department for 30 years, and most of that he spent right here in this office. Now, that's got to prove was doing something right.
Hey, the last thing I intend on doing is being one of those administrators who justifies the fact that he has a problem by saying he inherited it from his predecessor.
Yeah, well, no matter how much experience you've got, running a department like this is just not an easy job. And you are fortunate to have a bunch of good cops working under you.
Well, maybe they just haven't been put to their best use, though.
What's that supposed to mean?
Something I've noticed that the chief seemed to condone, which is going to stop now that I'm here, is this practice of assigning 3 detectives to one case.
Oh, I see. You're talking about my working with the detectives Guthrie and Saxon.
The 3 Musketeers, isn't that what they call you?
Well, it just so happens that we were pretty efficient together.
When it takes 3 detectives working full-time to crack one case, they sound more like the Three Stooges to me.
I see. Well, that's something that you won't have to worry about. We broke up that partnership some time ago.
I don't care what I have to do, Stoner, but I can promise you I'm going to make this department shape up.
Don't you realize we're all behind you 100%?
I'm going to weed out the misfits and incompetents and turn this into one of the most respected law enforcement agencies in the country.
If you would care to check the statistics, you might find that we were right up there with the best of them even before you arrived, so...
Well, the status quo isn't good enough.
Well, everybody expects you to make some changes.
I can promise you this, Stoner, I'm not going to make changes just for show. I'll turn this department inside out if I have to, whatever it takes to get the results that I want.
New broom sweeps clean, is that it?
You're not looking at a new broom, Stoner. I intend to be a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, hi, Eddie.
Hi, kid.
Warm night for November, huh?
What are you doing back so late? I thought you were directing this epic on a flat fee. I didn't know you were working by the hour.
No, I got a pretty big day tomorrow. Wanted to make sure all my camera angles were planned out.
What I hear, you're turning into a very fine director, Brian.
Oh, thanks. I'm getting a hell of a lot of cooperation.
You're putting everything you've got into this project, aren't you?
Well, no more than anybody else on the team. Frankly, I think we've got a hit on our hands, Eddie.
Don't count your chickens. You never know that until the picture opens.
Yeah, it'll be quite a while.
Just keep everything in the proper perspective. Don't let yourself get built up to a big letdown.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, sometimes, no matter how hard you try or how good your intentions are, things still don't come out the way you hoped they would.
Eddie, is something bothering you?
Yeah, I'm worried, kid.
Look, I told you the picture is coming along just fine.
Yeah, but I'm afraid Nola isn't. That's what's bothering me. Bothering me a lot.
Oh. What makes you feel that way?
Well, when I came barging into this house with that script, well, your mother was having a few problems.
Which you thought would be solved by getting her back to work again.
I thought it would be good medicine, and now I find that I'm worrying about whether this picture has left her worse off than she was.
Eddie, if this picture is a success, Mom's going to have more offers than she'll know what to handle. She'll be working so hard she won't be able to slide back to the way she was.
Suppose it's a flop.
You know something? I come from the Eddie Vaughn School of Good Vibrations. This picture is going to be a hit.
Nola isn't going to be the only one that comes out smelling like a rose if Mansion is a big smash.
No, Dad'll have another success, and Paige will be launched as an actress.
Oh, the director may do pretty well himself, you know.
Well, one thing I do know is that I want to try to stick with directing, Eddie. I really like what I'm doing. In fact, when this picture is finished, I just may pack a bag and head back out to Hollywood, see if I can scrounge up some work.
I thought you intended to stay here, go back to work for WMON, maybe try your hand at a few industrials or some TV commercials.
Eddie, no, if I'm going to be serious about this, I've got to go where the action is.
Oh, the Madison family is a very tightly knit unit. I'm surprised you think of going away.
Oh, hell, Eddie. There isn't any reason I can't tell you this. You're practically a member of the family as it is.
Tell me what?
Eddie, the reason I have to put some distance between myself and Monticello is because I want to get away from Paige. Because I have to get away from her.
Why would you feel a crazy thing like that?
Eddie, do you remember when Paige and I were children, how much we cared about each other?
Oh, sure. I also remembered you used to fight like cats and dogs sometimes.
Well, by the time we became teenagers, Eddie, Paige and I, well, we fell in love.
Hey, Brian,
what the hell are you saying?
Eddie, we knew we were related, but only by marriage. No blood ties. Only it turns out that just isn't true. You did know this, didn't you?
Oh, listen, kid. Oh, my God. Why didn't anybody tell me this?
It was resolved a long time ago, Eddie. Over 3 years, as a matter of fact. Dad marched me into his study and gave me the news straight from the shoulder. That he was the daddy, and that Paige and I were really brother and sister. How do you like that for a kick in the head?
My God, Brian. Oh, I never realized anything like this.
That's what Dad said. He never realized anything like this could ever happen. That a brother and sister could never fall in love. Well, surprise, surprise. It happened. Now we just have to live with it. Hey, you did know this.
Well, I guess I knew your mother and father, we go back a long ways, all of us.
You were always very good friends.
We still are, Brian. You know that, don't you? Look, does Paige know?
Yeah. Paige knows the truth, finally. We both thought that we would be able to work this out. You know, go our separate ways, find other people to care about. All very simple. Not so simple.
You mean you still feel the same way about her? Is that what you're trying to say to me?
That's why I left before, Eddie. That's why I've got to leave now.
Oh, my God. Oh, Brian, I am so sorry. My God, how you must be hurt.
There's not much you can do about it, is there? We just have to handle it. Somehow.
Cliff, you really missed your calling. You know, you should have joined the Secret Service.
There's only one body around here that I want to guard.
You've been a very nice watchdog today, so why don't you scamper off home, and the next time I see you, I'll give you a big phone.
Hey, wait a minute. If I left now, I'd be thrown out of the Guardian Angels Union. I'm gonna check out your apartment.
Cliff, you don't have to do this.
Oh, yeah? Suppose there's a gang of thugs in there just waiting to commit despicable acts upon your person.
You fight them off single-handedly.
Oh, what do you think I am, Steve Guthrie? No. If there's somebody in there, I'm gonna run like hell and get the cops.
Cliff, why am I whispering? There's nobody in my apartment.
How do you know? Somebody in there. I'm serious. Look. I'll go in, you stay. Stay right there. Hey, what are you doing in here? Get away from me! What are you fooling around this woman? Get away from here! Get out of here! Hey, get out! There's this guy when I came in. He's about 6 foot tall. He's really... He just went up the fire escape. You can see him if you look. I was gonna... Got a drink?
Yeah, I need one too.
Well, at least the guy didn't take the stereo. Of course, the way music is these days, who would want it, you know? Ever know how much new wave music sounds like old rock and roll? Well, at least we know that this criminal is not asthmatic and hates music. Thank you. I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to repay your kindness, ma'am.
Just don't bother.
No, really. I think... How about breakfast in bed tomorrow?
I knew you were going to say that. Do you ever stop, Cliff?
No, persistence is my middle name. That's why I have trouble. If you had to go through your childhood with a name like Clifford Persistence Nelson, you'd have trouble too.
Talk about persistence.
The mystery caller.
Well, I don't know who else it would be. None of my friends call me this late. You're here. Maybe it's somebody from the department. Hello? Hello?
Whoa, you're really letting this creep get to you, aren't you?
The moment that phone rings, every muscle in my body tenses up.
Look, I'm really sorry about that joke I played when I came in here. Don't people make calls like this usually turn out to be harmless? I mean, maybe it's because I'm male and phone calls don't bother me.
Cliff, don't use that on me. I'm more mystified by this caller than scared.
Look, why don't you sit down, all right? Did you talk to the phone company?
Yeah, I talked to the investigator. He said there's no way we can trace the calls, but changing my phone number tomorrow, so it'll be unlisted.
Well, that should solve the problem. You know, Scarlett, maybe it's just not the phone calls. You know, you're under a lot of tension now. You got a new job, you got a new boss. Your social calendar isn't exactly empty, that's for sure. I don't think you're having trouble deciding between Owen Madison or Steve Guthrie or...
Cliff.
When are you going to realize that these guys are bad risks, you know? Going out with a cop is just as bad as going out with a married man.
Please, this is none of your business. I'm gonna take that
Wait.
thing off the...
Let me answer, all right? Maybe a man's voice will frighten him away. Hello? Look, will you speak up, please? I can't hear you.
Are they saying something?
Seems to have a very limited vocabulary. Will you speak?
Cliff? Cliff?